Welcome. We are going to be doing some more balance this week. So if you're near a wall or if you have a chair, go ahead and grab that, and then 2 blocks and a blanket. And then when you're ready, meet me down on the floor in hero's pose. So for heroes, you can put a blanket underneath your shins if you would like, and then a pillow, a block, or something like that under your hips to lift you up. We're looking for a stretch in the front of the thigh. So we're going to do a little quad stretch here. Once you find your position, if it's not feeling quite right, you may want to go up a little higher, maybe take the block a little higher, or if you feel too high, you might want to go down a little lower, or you may not want a prop at all. Totally up to you. If you're feeling a really intense stretch in front of the ankle, you can roll up your blanket to block that stretch a little. So just, you can come out, maybe make it a little rounder like that. That should take a little of the stretch off of the ankles and keep it in the thighs. If you have access to the ankles right there, grab a hold of those and then lift your chest. Get a little taller, lengthen through the crown of your head, and then maybe lean back a little and find a little back bend. And then come out of the back bend, bring your rib cage right over top of your pelvis. Relax through your shoulders. Close your eyes if that sounds good to you. And then just slow down your breath. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. 3 more of those. Nice. And then come forward onto your hands and knees. Take a little hip circle, couple in each direction. And then bring your feet out in front of you. Have a seat on the blanket. Let's do a figure 4. So cross one leg over the other and draw it in. Lift your chest, hinge at the hip. Walk your foot back toward you. Walk your hands in toward you until you find a good stretch here. Press your outside of your ankle into your left thigh. Maybe even pull your toes back a little. Again, lengthen through the crown and hinge at the hip. Looking for a little stretch in the outer right hip. Slow breath. Nice, and then walk it out. Switch sides, cross the left over the right. Walk your hands in, walk your foot in until you find the stretch. Take your left knee wide. Press the outside of your left ankle into your right thigh. Maybe draw the toes back. Long through the top of the head and hinge at the hip. Nice, and then walk your hands back. Bring both feet down. Come back into tabletop. Make a little hip circle here, one in each direction. And let's test out the plank. You are always welcome to use blocks. It makes the plank a little more accessible and also makes your arms a little longer for stepping through. So come into your plank, push the ground away, reach through your heels and through the top of your head, and then decide, how does this feel? Would I like to bring my knees down? Is this sustainable? You decide. Keep breathing. Push into the ground nice and strong through your hands, and then make your way back, downward facing dog. Keep your blanket in the middle. We are going to use it when we start to flow with the sun salutations. But first, walk out your down dog. And then find a little stillness. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, knees hover right above the mat. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, knees hover. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. 2 more of those. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, knees lower. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, heels up. Exhale, knees hover. Inhale, plank. Exhale, down dog. And take a walk to the top of the mat, forward fold. Bend your knees, let your head and neck hang heavy, nod yes, shake no, sway side to side. And then inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, hands to heart. Sun salutations. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the block. Step your right foot back, knee to the ground. Inhale, rise, low crescent. Exhale, plank. Options. Always choose what works for you. Take what works, leave what doesn't. You can go straight to down dog. You can come down to the knees. You can do an elbow bend back to plank. You can do a chaturanga and an up dog. And then we all meet in downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, step it through. Left knee down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, step the left foot forward to meet the right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep wide, reach high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, this time the left foot back first. Knee to the ground. Breathe in, low crescent. Breathe out, plank. Make your way to down dog. You choose. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Right knee down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, tuck the back toes, step it forward. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep up, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the block, step right foot back, and then the left, and come down to your knees. Okay, take your right foot off the mat. So you're just gonna pivot it off the mat, take your left foot out long, and your left hand to your hip. So press the ground away with the right. Option to lift the left leg or the left arm up if you want, and then breathe in. As you breathe out, lift your left leg. Your toes point straight forward. So if your foot wants to go up, turn it sideways so you really feel it on the outer part of the hip. You got it. Push the ground away. And then bend your left knee and see if you can grab on the foot. Very similar to how when we were sitting, you were holding onto the ankle. Okay? See how that works for you. If you're like, this is not working for me, you can stay right here. Okay? Right here or right here. Choose which one works best for you. Keep breathing. If you have a hold of your foot, give it a little push. Lengthen through your low back. Keep breathing. Nice. And release. Let's do that on the other side. Take your left foot off the mat and your right foot back. Your right hand can be on your hip or overhead. And then option, as you breathe out, to lift the back leg. Remember, toes point forward so you really feel it right here at the top of the hip. You can stay here or bend your right knee, grab a hold of your right ankle. If you have your ankle, you can push your foot into your hand, give it a little arch there, keep breathing, nice and steady. You got it. And release. Come back down into plank. Make your way to downward facing dog. Breathe in, look forward. Breathe out, step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep wide, reach high. Exhale, hands to heart. All right, if you had a blanket on the mat, take it out to the front of the mat so there's nothing to your right and left. We're going to be doing some balancing, and I want to make sure you have plenty of room for that. Also, blocks out of the way too so that you can step right or left without stepping on anything. Okay, inhale, chair. Hips back, hands to heart, all the weight to your left foot. Right foot lifts. Slow breath in, step back, warrior one. Take your time to set up your warrior one. Bend your left knee, root into your right heel. Slow breath. If you're feeling the back bend, go for it. If you're not, don't. Find what feels good in your body. Find a stretch through the right calf. Find some length through your fingertips and some depth in your breath. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, single leg mountain. Breathe in, warrior one. Breathe out, single leg mountain. 3 more. Your pace. Take your time. Press the ground away with that left foot, working the balance and the strength of the left leg. One more. Nice. From that chair, or from that single leg mountain, right into chair. And then out. Good work. Let's do it again. Inhale, chair. Hands to heart. All the weight to the right leg. Left leg lifts. Take it nice and slow. Step it back. Warrior one. No rush getting it set up. Draw your right hip back, root into your left heel, bend into your right knee. Inhale, reach up. 5 of these, single leg mountain. Take your time, find your balance. And then step back into warrior 1. 2. 3. 4. 1. 5. Back into chair. And release. Okay, now if you have the chair, this is when you may want to use it. So make sure at least part of it is on the mat, if not all of it, so that it's nice and steady. Come into your chair, hands to heart. Option to use the chair in front of you. Cross your right ankle over the left. See how that feels. Test out the balance. And then cross your right ankle above your knee and see how that feels. Just how we started class, that same figure 4 shape. Hips back, ground into the left foot, lock into your gaze. Now, you can stay with the chair or you can come hands to heart. Keep breathing. Left hip back, right knee wide, hips a little lower. Take your time finding it. Use the chair or the wall. Find the steadiness, working the stretch and the strength and the balance all at once. 2 more breaths here. Good. Release. Let's do it on the other side. Inhale, chair. Hands come to heart, all the way to the right foot. Left foot crosses in front of the ankle. Hands can be at heart or on the chair. Bring it up. Take it above the knee. Hips back. You choose, always. Crossing at the ankle, crossing above the knee. Hands on the chair, hands at heart. Either way, we're going to stay here a bit, working the strength, flexibility, and balance. You want to go a little lower. And then release. Okay, flip your chair around. And then come to the side. Wide legs, a little side to side. Get the hips warmed up in this direction. A little stretch of the inner thigh. You can stay up high or go low. And then find a warrior 2 toward the chair. Reach through your fingertips. Settle into your hips. Ground down into your feet. Push down and push wide. Push down and draw to the center. And then just push down, finding a little bit of both. Balance all the way around the hips. Reach through the fingertips. You got it. Stay here for a little longer than you might want. Breathe low and slow. Go from warrior 2 to half moon. So for half moon, you bring your back foot in. Hand can come to a block, can come just to hover, or it can come to the chair. Draw the back foot in and lift that back leg up. Just like we did when we were down on the ground, your hand can be on your hip or overhead. You can look straight forward or down or up. Again, using the chair, the block, or hover. No matter where you are, this is challenging. Keep breathing. And then find your way back to warrior two. I know you want to do 5 of those. I can feel it. Yeah, I don't either. Breathe in. Warrior two. Breathe out. Half moon. This is number 2. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Warrior two. Breathe out. Half moon, number 3. Take your time. Bring that back leg up. Breathe. And land. 2 more. Breathe in, warrior two. Breathe out. Half moon. Push the ground away. Push into the hand. Reach out through the heel and through the fingertips. And last one. Warrior two. Half moon. Very nice. Back to warrior two. And then both toes point forward. Let's take a wide-legged forward fold here. So if you want, you can grab the blocks and bring your hands to your blocks. Bend your knees a lot. Lift your hips. Press the backs of your knees toward the wall behind you. Hinge at your hips. You can stay with hands on the blocks, on the floor, or you can wrap them around your heels or ankles. Either way, knees lift and press back, tailbone up, head relaxes down. Deep breath in. See if you can slow it down to a count of 4, 5, or 6 for the breath in. And the same for the breath out. Nice. And then come back up. And we're going to switch. So I'm going to move the chair to the other side so I'm not facing away from you. You can just switch legs and bring your left leg forward if you want. Whatever works best for you, but make sure everything's out of the way. Left foot is toward the chair this time. And find your warrior two. Ground into your feet, push wide. Ground into your feet, draw them together. And then just push straight down. See if you can feel a little bit of both, engaging all the way around the hips. Steady, reach through the fingertips. Stay with that slow, steady breath. All right, are you ready for 5 half moons? Warrior two, breathe in. Half moon, draw your back foot in. Hand can be on your hip or up. Left hand on the block, hovering or on the chair. Right hand on your hip or toward the ceiling. Find your half moon. Right toes point to the side wall. Push into your left foot. Lift with the outer edge of your right foot. Half moon. Okay, land as lightly as you can. Control on the way down. Warrior two. We got 4 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Back to warrior two. Half moon number 3. Half moon number 4. Moon number 5. Land soft and slow. Nice. Come back to the center. Come into Goddess. Take a little lift and lower here in Goddess. Knees wide, hips low. Keep breathing. Slow it down through the nose to that space just below the heart. Nice. Walk it back into center. And move the chair off of your mat. Grab your blanket. Sit on the edge of your blanket so that it tilts your pelvis forward a little bit. And then bring your feet to touch. Option to take your feet out far or to bring them in close. Totally up to you. You can try them both and see how they feel. But notice a tendency for the low back to round, and then stick your tailbone back behind you, lift your chest, and hinge at the hips. You can bring your hands to your feet, to the blocks, to the ground. Welcome to bend your elbows. You can stay nice and long through the crown of your head, or you can round in. You might want to bring a block to rest your head on, or it might go better on your feet, or whatever feels right for you. Hinge at the hips, lengthen through the low back, and then round in. Back up to seated. Bring your feet out wide and then take one knee and then the other toward the center. So getting some rotation in both directions. Nice. And then stretch out long on the mat. Scoot your hips over to the right. Bring your right knee in toward your chest, left leg out long. And take a twist. Take your right leg across your body, bring your right leg to the floor, and then take your right elbow back and reach your hand toward the floor. If it rests comfortably on the floor without any problem, you're all good. If it doesn't feel that great and it's hard to get it to the floor, just bring your right hand to your hip and let your elbow drop back behind you. Several breaths here in the twist, allowing your spine to unwind into this twist. And then come back to center and let's switch. Bring your left knee into your chest. Scoot your hips off to the left. And bring your left knee to the floor. And then take your right arm back. And if it rests on the floor, awesome. If that doesn't feel good, bring your hand to your hip and let your left elbow drop down. Also awesome. onto your back. Bring your hips to the center of the mat, maybe a little more of the windshield wiper. And then take a few pelvic tilts here. So long through the top of your head, and then roll your pelvis forward and back. Think of a little bit of a lower back massage. Forward and back. And then bring your knees in toward your chest and rock side to side. And then come into your Shavasana. If you're comfortable right as is, you can stay there. Or if you want to grab extra props or a blanket, grab those and we'll go straight into our meditation for this week. So you can stay where you are or get additional props. I'll give you a minute to get set up. And then we will do this week's meditation. No rush. Make sure you're comfortable and you're warm. In this practice, you'll explore a sense of connection. Begin by noticing the points of contact with the surface that's supporting you. Feel the touch of the air and clothing on your skin. Sense the flow of your breath and the beat of your heart. When do you feel safe and calm? Where are you and who are you with? How does this feel in your body and in your mind? Think of your most important relationships. Imagine their faces. Tell them how much they mean to you. Who do you most yearn to connect with? Imagine their faces and tell them how much they mean to you. Bring your attention now to your body. Follow the flow of energy to each part as you hear it called. Sense the movement of your attention from the inside. More feeling, less thinking. Begin with your toes. Imagine a warmth and a lightness. From your toes to your arches and the soles of your feet, to your heels and ankles, calves and shins. Bring your attention to your knees and kneecaps, thighs and hips, to the bowl of your pelvis, your abdomen and low back, to your rib cage, lungs, and heart. Your collarbones and shoulder blades, upper arms, elbows, forearms and wrists, the palms and back of your hands, all 10 fingertips. From the tips of your toes and fingers, draw a warmth and lightness up your legs and arms through your torso, along your neck, to the back of your head, top of your head, to your temples and forehead, your eyes, your nose, your lips, your jaw. And then settle your attention back into your chest, to your heart. Bring your attention to your breath. Notice the movement of air through your nose, throat, chest. Feel the rise and fall of the lower rib cage and belly. Imagine the experience of your breath as a continuous circle. Each exhalation arises from the inhalation before it, and the inhalation arises from the previous exhalation. In between, there's a moment of stillness, of transition, a hover. Create more space for the transition. As you reach the top of the circle, a suspension of movement, a point where you're finished inhaling but not yet exhaling, just a heartbeat, or maybe two. And then you breathe out. As you reach the bottom of the circle, the same. Not a breath hold, but a hover. An extension of the space between. Build trust in the transition. Begin to lengthen the hover by a beat, or maybe more. As the breath continues, remain as the spacious stillness where each breath emerges, develops, and fades. Let the rhythm flow naturally. Create space for feelings, emotions, or thoughts. Connecting with a sense of peace and ease. Notice how everything arises, unfolds, and dissolves. Everything is invited to be seen, felt, and heard. What do you feel? And where do you feel it? Welcome a sense of belonging that doesn't depend on anything outside of you. A sense of belonging to yourself. A connection with your inner knowing. Bring to mind again your most cherished relationships, your connections to people, pets, and places. Imagine going about your day connected to your sense of wholeness and peace, prioritizing your relationships, sharing your gifts, and remaining true to yourself. Bring your attention back to your body now, to your connection with the surface that supports you, to the slow flow of your breath and the room around you. Create gentle movement in your fingers and toes, moving and stretching intuitively, expanding into the space that surrounds you. Roll onto your side and notice how your body feels. Connect with a sense of safety and belonging, and bring it with you as you return to seated. May you feel the connection of your body, mind, and spirit. May your relationships flourish, and may the beauty of your extraordinary soul be a source of joy for the world. Namaste. Thank you for practicing with me.